Ready Performance Desk at MetLife Stadium. Welcome to Pregame Central, presented by the United States Virgin Islands. Visit the U.S. Virgin Islands, where you will fall naturally in rhythm.
It is a Hall of Fame evening at MetLife Stadium. The New York Jets hosting the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs in their building. Eric Allen, Anthony Becht, Quincy Enunwa, and Hall of Famer Joe Klecko. What a crew. Lot to get to. Joe, what do you think about the backdrop of tonight? The Jets coming in here 1-2, playing the defending champs, the Chiefs, who started the year 2-1.
Well, there's no doubt they have a uphill climb here, after, Zach Wilson's play has been the controversy all along, okay, and we understand he has to play better. It's a quarterback-driven league, and that's what it is. You're talking about probably the number one quarterback in the league right now, and Patrick Mahomes, they have to go against. But, last year when they went on a good run, it was basically defense. They lost the last 6 out of 7 games, all close matches, and it was defense. But, if they can go out there today, and if he can control the game and not do anything wrong, the defense has to step up. I mean, really, they're a good defense. There's no doubt, okay? And, I actually made a prediction at the beginning of the year. If the one thing they always did last year was always played behind. And it's tough to play defense when you play behind. But if Aaron Rodgers, I said, could keep them ahead in ball games, this is going to be the number one defense in the league. That's how good they are. Now, they've had their, lights punched out a little bit, especially by Dallas. Okay, they neutralized the front four, which is actually one of their mainstays, getting after the passer. If they could do that tonight, and Mahomes is a magician a little bit, but our defense is a really good defense, and if we can just keep their offense off the field a little bit more than usual, I mean, they have a chance.
AB, the last time we saw the Jets play in primetime was week 1. Yeah. The Buffalo Bills were in town. They fell behind double digits, the green and white, and then come back in the second half, force overtime, and send fans home happy on Xavier Gibson's punt return. How can they get this crowd energized once again?
Yeah, I think the Hall of Famer makes a great point. How do you limit what Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense does? You keep them off the field. You're not going to stop them because they're going to make their plays. They got a lot of weapons. I want to see an offensive identity tonight. I want to see what we want to be. Is it going to be play action off the run, pass first, short pass game? Get the quarterback in a rhythm. Find ways to get the chains moving. If you get the chains moving, you can get that clock trickle down and limit the chances that they have. One question I have for you, Joe, because it's in your wheelhouse. Patrick Mahomes is the king of extending the play. I always think you don't just try to tee off and try to rush this guy like you're bat out of hell. What is it as a group this defensive line has to do to really limit that playmaking ability when it's off schedule?
Well, we all talk about leaving the alleys alone, closing up, staying in your positions, but getting after the passer is more than that. Okay, Tom Brady made a living out of it with Dominic Skarnecki as an offensive line coach. He was able to step up and throw the ball. Mahomes is a different character. Mahomes makes his own alleys, and he gets out of trouble in a lot of different ways. The defensive line, with their surge up the middle and not allowing him those alleys to get out of there, can have a good day. There's not many people that have good days against him. Now, the other side of it is, I don't think we're only going to bring 4 guys most of the time. You're going to have to bring that 5th guy, okay? Now, the thing about is how do you spy Patrick Mahomes? Everybody tries to spy him and keep a linebacker or a safety on him to catch up to him. I've never seen anybody do it successfully, but that's where the backfield comes into play, As long as we can keep it to 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds, leave him sit back there for 4 or 5, he's really going to hurt us. And whether it's going after him with 5 guys or 4, and if they get it with 4, it's going to be a great night. It really will, because eliminating his time to throw with only 4 rushers, allows you 7 guys in the back to defend the pass. I mean, the question mark is how good can the defensive line be against his mobility?
Right.
So just a moment before, we saw Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce talking to his former teammate Mecole Hardman.
Yeah.
A Jets quarterback, a veteran Jets quarterback who we saw in Week 1, actually is here at MetLife Stadium tonight. That is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. Just seeing him on the field, Q, will that give a jolt of electricity inside the locker room?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's be honest here. Zach Wilson hasn't been playing starting quarterback football. So I think he needs a little bit of a push, right? He hasn't been able to perform. But you look at last year, he had a lot of weapons making big plays for him. For instance, Corey Davis, no longer on this team anymore, but he was a guy that was 20-plus yard catches almost every game. So who's going to step up for him this game, right? He needs a big play receiver. Mecole Hardman, we've been talking about how he's been absent. Hopefully he can come out and make some plays against his former team. And then also really quick, I love Joe's analysis, man. You talk about Hall of Famers. A lot of times you think of a former player. They don't really study too much anymore. This guy knows what he's talking about, right? So my only question for you is, you talked a little bit about they need to bring pressure. The Jets don't usually bring too much pressure. They like to kind of use their D-line to just bring that pressure, but it hasn't been working. So what do you see them doing? I mean, maybe one blitz, two blitz. Could you see them blitzing more than that?
Well, the biggest part about it is Mahomes finds alleys. It's amazing. He finds them between the guard and tackle, or he finds it outside. The best way to do it, of course, is contain him. If you can contain him and keep him inside, you take a safety, and at times you spy. Don't bring him right away, Spy him and then take your shot, where you come in there. But, we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. I talked with him this morning when he came into the locker room.
All right.
And I was talking to him about his injury, because I went out with a patella tendon way back when, and, I came back and I played that year in the playoffs, and I broke it in the third game of the season. Ooh. And he was talking to me about the actual procedure they made for him. This is amazing to watch him walk.
I know.
Yeah, that I'm telling you right now, that's amazing. He said he started it right away, he said. That's an amazing thing to start. Now, all depends what the Jets do for the season, of course,
sure.
whether they're going to be near the playoffs or not. But the one thing they have to do is control the locker room. Yeah. What happened last week on the field when they had everybody arguing with the coaches and stuff, names not to be made here, they have to stop that. You can't do that. Now, whether you think it's been wrong or not as a player, you have to come as a group after this. And that guy right there, the way he came in and endeared everybody in the beginning of the season, is what they need now. I said to him, I'm glad you got out of Malibu. He said, yeah, the weather was a little rough here, So, I'm glad to see him back, and I'm glad to see him in Wilson's ear.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to be on the sidelines. There's no doubt. He's going to be in a booth. But
he's a player coach.
You're putting a headset on him and allowing him to say, what did you see when they were in this coverage, that coverage? And the biggest problem that Zach has right now, he gets fooled with a lot of coverages, And the Belichick is the perfect example of that, having a young quarterback and playing games with him. So the thing about it is to have Aaron Rodgers out there as a support system, really, is big for the whole team, because he's that leader in the locker room right now I think they need.
The Jets will be wearing their white legacy uniforms tonight. When they wore the white legacy uniforms in Week 1, they went home a winner. Fans, please be in your seats at halftime as Joe Klecko receives his Hall of Fame Ring of Excellence. Fans,
we're on a short list.
You can participate in All In or Not today, right now. Patrick Mahomes will pass for fewer than 300 yards tonight. The Jets have an active streak of not allowing a passer more than 300 yards for 21 games. You can vote right now. Let's go inside the stadium, bring in Caroline Hendershot, Ethan Greenberg. Caroline, we start with you. A beautiful evening for football.
Oh, yeah, it's gorgeous in here, EA. I would say maybe a little buggy. There's a lot of lantern flies we've been having to swat down. But other than that, it's pretty perfect night for football.
Caroline, what can you tell us about this matchup as far as these defensive linemen on either side for the Jets, Quinnen Williams, and then for the Kansas City Chiefs, Chris Jones?
Well, Quinnen Williams spoke very, very highly of Chris Jones this week in the locker room. We asked him, are you good friends with Jones? Do you know much of him? He said, yes, I'm really close with Chris Jones. I've trained with him for the last 4 off seasons consistently, and he's taken every single tool out of his book. I said, is there anything specific? He said, the wisdom, the knowledge on the field, off the field. He's taken everything he's given him. He added, he has made me the player that I am today. And you kind of even saw that addition when Robert Saleh announced that he was a permanent captain on Friday, because everything he does embodies what they want their captains to look like. So Quinnen said that he is excited about this. He's excited to face his good friend Chris Jones, but I'm excited to see, while they're not facing each other head-to-head, what each of them do on each side of the ball.
Good stuff. Ethan, how about the matchup? DJ Reed seeing Patrick Mahomes once again.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know this, DJ Reed has a rare feat against Patrick Mahomes. Go back to 2016, Patrick Mahomes threw 10 interceptions. There's one of them right there. That's DJ Reed wearing number 2 for Kansas State. And here's the thing, for this Jets defense, when you take a look at how the Chiefs lost in week 1 against the Lions, I understand there was no Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce in that matchup, but Brian Branch for the Lions had a pick 6, and the Jets have had 2 almost pick 6s. You think about Sauce Gardner in Dallas, that was almost a pick 6 the other way. For my money, Michael Carter II, if he came down with that Quinnen Williams tipped pass last week against the Patriots, that's probably a touchdown the other way. So this Jets defense going up against a high-powered Chiefs offense, you want to turn the ball over, and it's going to be tough, but that's definitely what I'm keeping my eyes on.
Good stuff. We'll talk to you both here soon. In celebration of Joe Klecko's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Jets fans can enter for a chance to win a Joe Klecko Legacy jersey and an autographed Pro Football Hall of Fame helmet by texting Klecko to 26154. Terms and conditions apply. You are watching Pregame Central, presented by U.S. Virgin Islands, naturally in rhythm. Eric Allen, Anthony Beck, Quincy Enunwa, now joined by U.S. Olympian, the fastest man in the United States, Noah Lyles. Noah, what's the training like as you approach the 2024 Olympics?
Well, a lot of people would think that we're going to be, cooking up some secret formula. But to be honest, when you're the fastest guy and you have the formula and you just won 3 world championship medals in a row, just doing the same thing over and over, it's kind of going to breed what you need to get.
Yeah. So let me ask you this one. Some people would say the Kansas City Chiefs are the defending world champions. Would you say the Kansas City Chiefs are the defending National Football League champions?
I think the NFL stands for National Football League. So national champion is what I would call them.
There you go. Okay, so the 100 and the 200.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the difference in approaches?
To be honest, it's a completely different approach.
Yeah.
You think of the 100, and everybody knows it's the fastest, and it's for good reason. When you're on that line and you're on the finals, and you're in a stadium that holds 80,000 people, and they go dead silent because they know that tip for tip, fingernail to fingernail, you're with the fastest guy who could probably take you out in one moment, and you have to wait on the gun to start. Man, that's pressure. That's nothing but pressure. It's okay when you got everybody who's yelling out and they're screaming, but when they go silent and you only have your thoughts, that's a whole different mentality.
Yeah.
200, a lot more fun.
I love it. Noah, do you feel like this is a little bit of a homecoming for you because both your parents have some roots at Seton Hall?
Yeah, they both went to Seton Hall. I have a ton of family and friends who stay in the New Jersey area, even now to this day. I still got my grandma, she's still out in New Jersey. So, the North, to be honest, the whole East Coast is my home.
Yeah, that's right.
I've lived in Florida, North Carolina, Maryland, D.C., and, of course, I have a strong connection to New Jersey.
All right, so if we were going to put you out there on offense tonight for the Jets, what kind of play you want to run?
Everybody tells me to run flies.
Yeah?
That's all you
That's how you need, bro.
Get one route.
That's all you need.
Go.
Don't even worry about it at all.
Would
Michael,
you catch it if we gave you the opportunity tonight? One
heck
time?
yeah.
I'm an athlete through and
Let's
Okay.
go.
Okay. Hey,
Let's do it.
Listen.
Hey, I was a high jumper. I could jump 6'8".
Hey, listen, you can't be a 100 and 200 meter runner and not be confident. So you gotta expect that. You're by yourself on that track, no other teammates, just you against everybody else.
I love it.
No, it was your guy Michael Johnson growing up,
No, I'm a guy who believes in myself.
right?
Don't get me wrong.
Even from the get-go, huh?
No, from the get-go.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect everybody, but I'm going to take what I can learn from everybody. But at the end of the day, if I'm over here putting people on pedestals, how the heck am I going to beat them when I show up on the line?
And I love.
We got to play mind games, too. You got to
Oh, 100%.
show
love
them
that
kindness
attitude.
and then beat them at
Hey,
the start.
my mind game is I'm so happy when I show up to the line. They're scared that they're going to, oh, my gosh, this man's so happy. How the heck am I going to beat him?
So what do you think about the matchup tonight, Jets-Chiefs?
Hey, all I'm going to say is
Come on, Noah.
You
You
can
got-
speak your mind.
Come on, Noah.
there's a lot of confidence going in as the champions. National champions, a lot of Super Bowl champions, that's a lot of confidence.
Definitely.
But I'm also going to put it like this. When you're in your home area,
That's right.
when you're on home court, that's another advantage.
Absolutely.
And when you're ready to prove something, people don't know what to expect. And that's when you can get them the best.
You got to defend your turf.
You get exactly. You can't let it go away.
Definitely.
So hopefully the Jets defend their turf tonight because they will be in Denver next week. What's it like for you when you're going to be overseas? Because you're going to be in Paris during the Olympics.
Hey, I was just in Paris earlier this year.
Yeah?
Beat the previous Olympic champion. Light work. I love it. What I do. It's what I do. Going to different countries. I mean, we stay in Europe half the year, so going overseas, it's going to be fun. I've already seen the energy. They're very excited, and I'm excited to get to an Olympics that's going to be a full stadium. You know, we were there empty. You know, you could hear a pin drop when the gun went off at the last Olympics. I'm ready to hear a full packed-out stadium like we're going to hear tonight.
Noah, who are you looking forward to talking to tonight? We saw Aaron Rodgers is out there on the field, Patrick Mahomes out there, Travis Kelce, and I hear Taylor Swift might be making an appearance.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't know Taylor Swift was so anticipated tonight. To be honest, Patrick Mahomes is another Adidas guy. So, of course, that'll be a cool meetup right there. But to be honest, just interacting with people who aren't track athletes, you know, that's the cool part. You know, the top in the world meeting the top in the world. That's what I'm excited about.
Hey, you were born in Gainesville, Florida.
I was.
Tom Petty connected to Gainesville, Florida. You got that attitude. You won't back down, and you're not going to back down there in Paris. Good luck to you. 100 meters, 200 meters. The fastest man in the United States. The fastest man in the world. That's Noah Lyles. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
That's great stuff. Here's a live shot of MetLife Stadium. We are inside the tailgate zone. You are watching Pregame Central presented by the U.S. Virgin Islands. We saw Zach Wilson out there before. You got Tim Boyle out there. What do you think about the quarterback situation tonight for specifically Zach? What kind of advice would you give Zach?
I mean, listen, you know, I know Hackett's going to have their scripted plays, top 10, 15 to start the game. They're going to go over it. Last night, this morning, you know, waiting for this game all day long. Just get in a rhythm, you know. Listen, it doesn't have to be groundbreaking. All right, there's enough playmakers on this team where if they just go out there, deliver the ball and do their thing, I think they can make some plays. So Zach just has to be efficient. He has to make plays when he gets the opportunity. And when those plays come, he's got to raise his level of play.
Hugh, as a guy who played receiver, if you're Garrett Wilson, what are you saying in his ear tonight before you go out there in front of the nation?
Yeah. Well, from what I've seen from Garrett Wilson, he's a team guy, right? He's not a guy that's going to say, give me the damn ball. You know, he's a guy that's going to make sure that he's propping up his quarterback. There's been a lot of bad media on Zach Wilson, right? So he needs his teammates to support him. He needs the fans to support him, too. But ultimately, he needs his teammates to say, look, I got your back. I'm going to come out there and do what you need me to do. And I know Garrett Wilson's going to be one of those guys to do that for him.
What did you say when you wanted the ball, Quincy? I can't remember. What was the
Oh, man, I was a good guy, man. Don't do me like that.
You still are a good guy.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been reading some media guy. I've been talking to a lot of quote-on-quotes out of Quincy during your playing. I don't know. I read some things.
I try to be the best team that I could, and I think that's what's important about this team. Like, I think ultimately there's a lot of reports coming out about bad news and all these other things coming out, but I think Coach Tyler keeps a tight locker room, and those guys are going to support their guys.
How about this, guys? Patrick Mahomes talking to Aaron Rodgers right now. Unfortunately, these guys still have not gone head-to-head in their careers.
Really?
We have been robbed of that.
Yeah.
When the schedule came out in April, we're thinking week 4, Aaron Rodgers goes head-to-head with Patrick Mahomes. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
That's amazing. I can't believe that, right? I mean, that's.
Yep.
I mean, look, two incredible talents. You talk about new age, generational age. These two guys really set the standard, the gold standard of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And, hopefully, Patrick doesn't, the time of possession isn't in his favor in this game today.
So, Quincy, I talked to Robert Saleh about it this week. He said with Patrick Mahomes, it's always 2 plays. It's that first scripted play, and then it's the unscripted play. It puts so much pressure on the defense, doesn't it?
Oh, my God. When I was watching film, Patrick Mahomes is literally a magician, right? So Joe Klecko was saying contain Patrick Mahomes. But that's a lot easier said than done. I think the Jets have a good idea of what they need to do, but ultimately, Patrick Mahomes is going to get his plays off. So what is the offense for the Jets going to do? That's what we need to know in this game. Can they keep up with the Chiefs? Probably not. But can they do enough? Because the defense is going to lock it down. They're going to do what they need to do. So the offense needs to make sure that they're putting some plays on the board.
Anthony, we were just looking at Sauce Gardner before. Would you put the second-year cornerback on Travis Kelce in certain situations?
Yeah, listen, Travis is a difficult offensive player to defend. I hate the fact that they all allow him to come off the line of scrimmage with no pressure, no hits, no thumps, and they like to move him, get him in that slot, which is helpful. But if he's ever in line, why not take a shot? But, yeah, why not? I mean, you need somebody that's long and athletic. If you let him pick his zone and just pick his spot, he's going to kill you and eat you up all day. So, yeah, I think it's a great move. I think he should be on the whole game. Why not?
He's got great length, and we saw that in week 1 last year where Robert Saleh put him on Baltimore Ravens tight end Mark Andrews. Okay, now it's time for All In or Not Today. Can we see the leaderboard before we bring in Ethan and Caroline? I think Ethan actually has a lead here early this season.
Barely.
Who's that?
There we go. Oh, Ethan's got a 1-game lead, huh? And Quincy a game out. Caroline 0-3. Anthony 0-3. The fans 0-3? We got to change some of that.
I would like to just preface something.
Caroline, what do you have?
I was ranked 6th on that graphic. Me, AB, and the fans are all tied.
Keep my name out your mouth.
Everyone to realize that. I am not dead last.
Keep my name out your mouth.
But in fairness, Caroline, you are still searching for that elusive first victory.
I am.
All right, so here's tonight's question. Patrick Mahomes will throw for more than 300 yards. All in or not today? I want to give you some context here. The Jets are on a streak of 21 straight games where opposing quarterbacks have not reached 300 yards. Go ahead, Caroline.
Swifties out in the tailgate zone to hear me because I might have a blank space in that win column for All In or Not Today. But I am going all in on the Jets holding Patrick Mahomes to fewer than 300 passing yards. I think they're going to show up and show out like they did on Monday Night Football against the Bills because it's under the lights. It's a big stage. That's when they play their best football. So I'm excited to watch them take him down and limit him today.
Yeah, I'm going right off Caroline, and I'm also all in that the Jets will hold Patrick Mahomes to fewer than 300 passing yards. And look, this Jets defense, it knows each other all too well. And I think for the green and white to win, obviously the Jets will have to play well on defense. And last year, it took the Jets defense 3 games to find its form. It's week 4 now in 2023. I'm expecting the defense to find its form tonight.
Well, you're feeling quite confident. Ethan's got the lead, gentlemen. 2-1 so far early this season.
That's how it feels when you're on the top. I know what it feels like.
All right. Anthony, you're hanging out in the basement right now. So what do you have?
I mean, listen, I got a nice basement at the house. So,
okay.
Talk about basements all we want.
There you go. There we go.
Look, if he passes for 300 yards or more, it's not going to be a very, winning atmosphere for the Jets. So I'm going to say they hold them under 300. Hopefully it's well under 300 in this game. So I'm all in. I got to go with all in.
Quincy?
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
I did some research, and I saw that he had a few 300-yard games last year in primetime games. But you know, it's a home game. The last time, this is my expert analysis right here. The last time that Aaron Rodgers was at home and the Jets wore the legacy uniforms, the Jets won.
That's correct.
And they held the quarterback under 300 yards. So because of my expert analysis, I'm going all in.
All right.
That's a good job.
You like that
together.
Good
I like the
mojo.
analysis.
Good
Me
mojo
too.
out here. We're watching DJ Reed. He had that pick 6 of Patrick Mahomes way back their college days. There's Alan Lazard getting warmed up. We're closing in on kickoff here at MetLife Stadium, Jets Chiefs. I'm all in on this one. Bottom line, this Jets defense is ready for a shot at the title. They will contain Mahomes. The key tonight will be stealing possessions. Can the Jets win in the takeaway department? And they got to be better on third down on both sides of the football, guys. Yes. Anthony?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you know, the defense has to play. They keep talking about they want to be the best in the NFL. They're going to have to make some plays against Patrick Mahomes. I will say this. Patrick Mahomes, when you watch him, he gets out of the pocket, he starts creating. He will try to get that tight window throw. And when you're doing it in movement, it's not as accurate, as although he is very accurate on the move. It's not as accurate as just standing in the pocket. So when you have players of this team like the caliber we have in the secondary, they got to find a way to attack that football and grab a couple, because if they don't, it's going to be a long time.
All right, let's see how fans voted tonight, Pregame Central. Patrick Mahomes will throw for 300. Well, the Jets will hold Patrick Mahomes to less than 300 yards passing. 58% say yes.
Ooh. So we all said all in.
All in.
You sound like NFL Live. You know what happens when they go all in.
I know.
Everybody has the same pick. We're destined for disaster. You should have changed it up.
I was going to. I really was, but I don't know. I felt something, you know.
Blame Quincy if it doesn't.
Hey, we should say this, that Josh Allen's a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah.
When he played here in prime time, the Jets got all after him and had 4 takeaways. And we're constantly in that backfield. Today, Josh Allen carved up the Miami Dolphins to a tune of 48 points. My point on that is this Jets defense, we've seen them step up to the plate before. I think they're going to be ready for this challenge tonight.
You know what? I don't know if he's going to be up or not. I don't have the data. But a guy like Will McDonald may be an interesting piece tonight. He's just athletic. He's slippery.
Yeah.
He can rush and change. You know, I just think maybe he gets a couple more chances, gets an opportunity to do something. I don't know. I'd give him a chance tonight.
So I'm going to tell you who's up and who's down. Here's tonight's inactives for the Green and White. Israel Bonaconda, Jason Brownlee, Wes Schweitzer, Zaire Barnes, Al Woods, and Tony Adams. Al Woods, name that's interesting. The big guy in the middle, he is inactive tonight. That means Tony Adams out of the lineup. Of course, Adrian Amos getting a start with Jordan Whitehead. Again, it is time for our final thoughts. Quincy, offensively, the Jets cannot fall behind by double digits. They've done that for 3 consecutive weeks now. How do they get the fast start?
Well, listen, the Jets have played some top defenses this whole year, right? They knew they had a tough season going in. They knew they had a tough schedule, and they need to. And at this point now that they know that Zach is the quarterback, they need to start playing to his strengths, right? Get him on the move. Have some more big plays. These are some of the things that made him look so good in college and in the past couple seasons. So give him more opportunities to do that, and let's see him make some magic.
AB?
You know, listen, when things are going bad and when you're in doubt, you got to lean on your trenches to get the job done.
Yep.
This offensive line has to play much better. This offensive line has to play above and beyond what they've done already throughout this season. They got to create holes in the run game. They got to give Zach some time. I'm going to put it on the guys out in front, the big guys, because if they don't get it done, it's not going to happen.
It's a big game. Aaron Rodgers is here at MetLife Stadium. Taylor Swift is expected to be here at MetLife Stadium. And the Green and White have a chance to even the record at 2-2 against the defending Super Bowl champs. We are signing off. We'll see you for Jets Overtime after the game.